Once you begin to see the pattern, something powerful happens. The confusion starts fading. You stop calling chaos love. You stop calling distance mystery. You stop calling emotional hunger passion. And for the first time, you begin to understand that many painful experiences were not random. They followed a psychological blueprint. A dismissive avoidant partner often sends signals that feel warm one moment and cold the next. They may come close when they sense space between you, then pull away when genuine closeness starts growing. This creates emotional whiplash. You never know where you stand. One day they seem deeply interested. Another day they act untouched. This instability can trap the mind because uncertainty creates obsession. The brain hates unfinished stories. It keeps searching for answers, replaying moments, chasing clarity. That is why you think about them so much. Not always because they are right for you, sometimes because they are unresolved. When someone gives mixed energy, the nervous system stays alert. It watches every message, every pause, every mood shift. You begin reading between lines that should not need decoding. You start measuring tone, timing, small changes. You become a detective in a relationship that should have felt safe enough to simply live in. This drains emotional strength more than people realize. Love should not require constant investigation. Another common sign is emotional minimization. If you bring up feelings, pain, needs, or concerns, they may dismiss the conversation quickly. They might say you are overthinking, too sensitive, too serious, too needy. They may change the topic, joke, shut down, or disappear. The issue is not always cruelty. Often it is discomfort. Deep emotional dialogue touches places inside them they learned to avoid long ago. So instead of facing discomfort, they reduce your reality. And when this happens enough times, you may start reducing yourself too. You speak less, need less, ask less, expect less. This is how people slowly abandon their own needs while trying to keep someone comfortable. Pay attention to that cost. Another pattern appears in moments of vulnerability. When life becomes heavy, when you need support, reassurance, tenderness, or emotional presence, they may seem strangely absent. They can be available for fun, desire, distraction, or surface-level connection, yet disappear when pain enters the room. Crisis exposes capacity. Anyone can stay when things are light. Character is revealed when things are hard. If someone repeatedly withdraws when you need depth, believe the pattern. Do not worship potential while ignoring evidence. Many dismissive avoidants also protect themselves through control of access. They decide when closeness happens, when affection appears, when communication opens, when silence begins. This keeps them emotionally safer because they remain in command of distance. But for the other person, it feels exhausting. You become reactive to their rhythm instead of living from your own center. One day, you feel chosen. Another day, you feel erased. This emotional inconsistency can become addictive because rare affection feels like reward. The mind starts chasing small moments of warmth, the way thirsty people chase drops of water. But scarcity is not proof of value. Limited attention is not the same as meaningful care. Remember that. There's also the pattern of strong physical energy followed by emotional flatness. Intense closeness may happen, yet afterward, there is little softness, little curiosity, little bonding, little warmth. The moment ends and the distance returns. This leaves a hollow aftertaste because your body opened while the emotional bridge never formed. You may ask yourself, why do I feel farther away after being so close? Because true bonding needs more than intensity. It needs safety, consistency, and mutual openness. Without those ingredients, connection does not deepen. It only repeats. Another hidden sign is how often you feel responsible for the relationship's emotional health. You become the initiator, the repairer, the communicator, the one who reflects, explains, reassures, forgives, and waits. You carry the emotional labor while calling it patience. But one-sided emotional effort is not maturity. It is imbalance. Healthy love is not built by one person doing all the inner work. You were not meant to drag intimacy uphill alone. And then there is the most dangerous sign of all: losing yourself while trying to keep them. This can happen quietly. Your standards lower, your voice softens, your boundaries blur, your intuition gets ignored. You accept less than you once knew you deserved because you became attached to the hope of who they could be. Hope can inspire growth, but misplaced hope can also imprison people in situations that wound them. Never confuse possibility with reality. Who someone could become is not who is loving you today. Psychology shows that many people stay in painful dynamics because familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. If you grew up earning love, chasing approval, managing moods, or proving worth, dismissive distance can feel strangely normal. Your past may recognize what your future is trying to escape. This is why awareness matters so much. Without awareness, you repeat. With awareness, you choose. You begin noticing when your body feels anxious around someone who claims to care. You notice when silence becomes punishment. You notice when your joy depends on unpredictable crumbs. You notice when you are shrinking to fit inside another person's comfort zone. And once you notice clearly, you cannot unsee it. That is where freedom begins. You do not need to hate them to protect yourself. You do not need to label them evil to honor your needs. You do not need revenge to walk away from what keeps hurting you. Compassion and boundaries can exist together. Understanding someone's wounds does not require you to live inside them. This truth changes lives. You can empathize with someone's struggle and still refuse to be damaged by it. You can care deeply and still leave. You can love someone and still choose yourself. Because love without reciprocity becomes self-neglect. Love without emotional presence becomes loneliness with company. Love without accountability becomes endless waiting. And waiting too long for unavailable people often costs available years of your life. Your energy is valuable. Your peace is valuable. Your heart is valuable. Stop handing priceless parts of yourself to people who only know how to hold them halfway. The moment you stop begging for emotional basics, your dignity returns. The moment you stop chasing confusing energy, your mind becomes clear again. The moment you stop accepting fragments, you create space for something whole. That shift is not loss. It is awakening. Awakening often begins with pain. Not because pain is your destiny, but because pain forces honesty. It shows you what comfort once helped you ignore. It reveals where you betrayed yourself to keep someone else near. And once the truth becomes clear, a new question rises inside you. How do I heal from something that kept pulling me back? Healing starts when you stop focusing only on them and begin returning attention to yourself. This is difficult at first. Your mind may still search for reasons, closure, messages, explanations, signs, memories, and imagined future moments. That happens because emotional inconsistency trains the brain to chase relief. When reward is unpredictable, attachment can grow stronger, not weaker. You do not miss only the person. You miss the cycle your nervous system became used to. That is why discipline matters more than emotion. If you wait until you feel ready, you may stay trapped for years. Growth often begins before feelings agree. Sometimes the strongest step is choosing what is healthy while your heart still feels confused. Start by respecting what your body has been trying to tell you. Many people ignore their own signals. Tightness in the chest, restless sleep, anxiety after messages, relief when distance happens, constant overthinking, fear before difficult conversations. These are not random reactions. The body often recognizes danger before the mind accepts it. Listen carefully. Peace is data. Stress is data too. When someone repeatedly activates insecurity, your body keeps the score. Stop arguing with your own nervous system just because attraction exists. Another part of healing is grieving the fantasy. This is where many people get stuck. They are not attached only to what happened. They are attached to what they hoped would happen. The version of the relationship that lived in imagination can be harder to release than the relationship that existed in reality. You pictured consistency. You pictured growth. You pictured warmth becoming permanent. You pictured effort being returned. But healing asks courage. It asks you to separate dreams from facts. It asks you to see clearly what was given, not only what was promised in your mind. This may hurt, but clear pain heals faster than confused hope. Then comes boundaries. Boundaries are not punishment. They are self-respect in action. They protect your time, energy, emotions, and future. If contact keeps reopening wounds, distance may be necessary. If conversations keep spinning in circles, silence may be wisdom. If access to you is being misused, limits become medicine. Many people fear boundaries because they think limits push love away. The truth is different. Limits reveal where love truly exists. Healthy people respect them. Unhealthy dynamics fight them. Never feel guilty for protecting what took years to build inside yourself. Healing also requires rebuilding identity. When people spend too long chasing unavailable love, they often forget who they were before the chase began. Their routines weaken, their goals pause, their confidence drops, their world becomes centered around someone else's mood, attention, and availability. Take your life back piece by piece. Return to your habits, return to movement, return to learning, return to friendships, return to dreams you placed on hold, return to mornings that belong to you. Every action that reconnects you with yourself weakens the grip of the past. You do not recover only by thinking differently. You recover by living differently. There is another powerful truth many avoid hearing. Closure is often self-created. Waiting for the perfect apology, explanation, or emotional confession can keep you chained to the very person who hurt you. Some people never gain the awareness to explain their behavior. Some understand but still avoid accountability. Some know they caused pain, yet continue protecting themselves first. If your healing depends on their transformation, your freedom stays delayed. Closure can sound like this inside your own mind. I wanted more than they could give. I kept hoping longer than I should have. I learned what this pattern cost me. I release the need for them to become different. I choose what chooses me. That kind of closure is powerful because no one can withhold it from you. As healing deepens, your standards begin to rise naturally. You stop being impressed by intensity alone. You stop confusing mystery with depth. You stop admiring people who are emotionally unreachable. You begin valuing consistency, honesty, tenderness, accountability, and calm presence. This shift changes who attracts you. What once felt exciting may now feel draining. What once felt boring may now feel safe. What once felt impossible may now feel necessary. That is growth. Your nervous system is learning that peace does not mean lack of passion. Stability does not mean lack of attraction. Kindness does not mean weakness. Emotional availability is not less powerful than distance. It is stronger because it requires courage. Anyone can hide, not everyone can connect. And perhaps the deepest healing of all is ending the belief that you must earn love through struggle. Many people unconsciously chase hard relationships because they think love must be proven through pain, sacrifice, patience, and waiting. But healthy love is not a prize for suffering. You do not need to bleed to be worthy. You do not need to chase to be chosen. You do not need to perform to be valued. You do not need to stay hungry to deserve affection. The moment you truly understand this, your decisions begin changing fast. You stop bargaining with neglect. You stop romanticizing emotional absence. You stop lowering yourself to keep someone comfortable. You stop asking for the minimum with maximum effort. And something beautiful happens next. Space opens. Energy returns. Confidence rises. Joy becomes possible again. Because when you stop pouring yourself into closed hands, you finally have enough left to build your own life. When you finally have enough left to build your own life, everything starts changing from the inside out. Not overnight, not through magic, through choices, through truth, through repeated moments where you choose your future over your old wounds. This is where many people discover something shocking. The relationship that drained them was never the center of the story. They were. For too long, your energy may have been pointed outward, watching someone else, predicting reactions, waiting for warmth, adjusting yourself to avoid rejection, hoping effort would create security. But healing matures when attention returns home. Your life becomes stronger the moment your focus stops orbiting another person's distance. This is how self-respect grows. It grows each time you keep a promise to yourself. It grows when you say no and mean it. It grows when loneliness does not push you back into harmful patterns. It grows when silence no longer scares you. It grows when you would rather be alone than emotionally starved. That kind of strength cannot be borrowed. It must be built. Many people think confidence comes from being chosen by someone attractive, mysterious, or hard to keep. Real confidence comes from choosing yourself, even when temptation pulls hard in the opposite direction. It is easy to feel worthy when someone wants you. It is powerful to know your worth when they do not. That difference changes destiny. Once you stop measuring value by who stays, you begin measuring value by how you live. Are you honest with yourself? Are you protecting your peace? Are you growing? Are you creating a life that feels solid even without outside validation? These questions build a stronger identity than attention ever could. And this matters deeply because unresolved pain often makes people chase people. Healed strength makes people chase purpose. Purpose can be simple at first. Waking up earlier, training your body, learning new skills, building income, creating discipline, repairing friendships, reading books that sharpen the mind, spending time in environments that restore calm. Every healthy action tells the brain a new story. My life is mine again. Do not underestimate small wins. A short walk can begin momentum. One honest boundary can begin freedom. One day of self-control can begin a new chapter. One decision to stop checking their messages can begin mental peace. Transformation rarely arrives as one giant moment. It often arrives through quiet consistency. There may still be days when memory returns strongly. A song, a place, a late-night thought, a sudden urge to reconnect. This does not mean failure, it means you are human. Healing is not the absence of emotion. It is the refusal to let emotion control direction. You can miss someone and still move forward. You can feel sadness and still protect progress. You can remember beauty and still remember damage. Maturity holds both truths at once. Another important shift happens when you begin seeing red flags earlier. What once seemed attractive now looks familiar in the wrong way. Evasion no longer feels intriguing. Hot and cold behavior no longer feels special. Bare minimum effort no longer feels acceptable. You stop needing long suffering to recognize misalignment. This saves years. Many people waste time because they only trust chemistry. Chemistry has value, but chemistry alone can lead people into repeating old pain with new faces. Wisdom asks better questions. Can this person communicate? Can they handle accountability? Do actions match words? Do I feel grounded around them? Is there mutual effort? Is kindness consistent when no reward is involved? Those questions protect hearts. As your standards rise, some people will call you distant, difficult, demanding, or changed. Let them. Often those labels come from people who benefited when you had none. Growth can disappoint those who preferred your weakness. Stay changed. You did not come this far to become easy to misuse again. There is also power in forgiving yourself. Many people remain trapped not by the old relationship, but by shame about staying too long. They judge themselves for ignoring signs, returning again, explaining away pain, or accepting less than they deserved. But guilt that teaches is useful. Guilt that chains is wasteful. You did what many wounded people do. You hoped. You attached. You tried. You learned. Now carry the lesson, not the self-hatred. Your past choices do not cancel your future wisdom, and maybe the deepest lesson of all is this. Emptiness from another person can become the doorway to fullness within yourself. What once hurt you can wake you. What once distracted you can redirect you. What once broke your focus can sharpen it. Many strong people are born in seasons where illusions collapse. When fantasy dies, truth gets room to live. So build carefully now. Build routines that steady the mind. Build boundaries that guard peace. Build friendships that feel nourishing. Build finances that create options. Build habits that make you proud. Build a private life so meaningful that chaos loses its appeal. Then, if love enters again, it will meet a whole person, not someone begging to be completed. And when real connection arrives, you will notice the difference immediately. There is no constant guessing, no emotional drought, no endless decoding, no shrinking to stay included. Calm replaces confusion. Respect replaces chasing. Openness replaces games. Care feels natural instead of rare. That is when you understand something priceless. The empty passion you once accepted was never the peak experience you feared losing. It was a lesson preparing you for something better. So do not mourn what could not hold you. Thank it for showing you what you need. Thank it for forcing growth. Thank it for teaching discernment. Then close the door with strength. Walk forward with standards. Walk forward with clarity. Walk forward with a heart that now knows the difference between intensity and truth. Because the greatest relationship you build after pain is not with another person first. It is with yourself.